And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Shadow Empire. This is going to be the third part of the fourth stream on the map supplied by the community. We're going into round 60. We have two decisions awaiting us. Okay, somewhere in the world, someone's going to have problems with arachnids. At the moment, that's not us. Supervised IP, that'll be nice when we got money to spend. Bronze recruitment, or retirement is going to be potentially useful. Yeah, we want to suppress autocracies. No, we're not going to level private armies. Offer to buy slaves. We should buy the slaves, even though we don't really want to take the meritocracy hit. This will keep them happy in the northwest, as well as get us some more population. And for once, we are over 50 opinion or 50 happiness again. So loyalty should go up. We mostly didn't get very many negatives. Unrest is pretty low. And fear didn't hit us this turn. Although it's still going to take 6 more turns to get rid of the fear. And of course, as loyalty goes up, our recruitment rate goes up. I think I'll sell the metal off. Yeah, we're going to do a big metal sell.
Wilco.
Build up a war chest of sorts. Oh, and the slavers did move out of those hexes. We'll take those hexes over. Rest went down by 2. Fear and time. Okay. So we're at the point where I could probably pull the HQ back out again. It's not really making an effect. Is it tank o'clock? We haven't finished the model design yet. We moved 12%. So at this rate, 7 to 8-ish turns before we complete the designing of the tank. And then we'll probably be building some tanks. Let's cycle the turn. Give a little time to save a resource, I guess. Well, we just sold off a bunch of metal to make a currency reserve. But yeah, I'm not... the thing I'd actually be concerned mostly with using the tanks is not their upfront metal and oil or upfront metal and IP cost at this point. Now I'm a little bit more concerned about their oil usage. Because again, we're only getting oil who scavenge. We could set up a biofuel refinery. Okay, so that's the slavers to the north. It's the ones that are on vaguely friendly terms with us. So when we deal with all the mutants, we might be able to try to sneak some territory off of them. So we deal with the robot walkers to the south, the armored vehicles to the east. The militia or the mutants should be pretty easy to deal with. We can't see where. Oh, well, in this map mode, we can't see where the major's gone into yet. To the south, which is kind of the direction we want to go first if we've got the manpower. Yeah, we'll probably unleash the tanks on the walkers first. Because if we get positive feedback if the AI walkers are all destroyed, because the zone will go from a territory zone to a non-aligned zone if they run out of walkers. So we'll know when that front is more secure, let's say, because we can probably spread out into a loose picket if it's just non-aligned from a frontage standpoint, which will allow us to very rapidly expand at that point. Because instead of needing like 1 unit per hex for the border, if we don't have the robots to deal with, we can spread out to like 2 or 3 hexes per unit. To the east, it's mountains. That's not great for tanks. That is true. However, to the east, the things we're having problems with are tanks. So, if the terrain is mutually bad for both of us, that works for us. Yeah. The problem we're having with the slavers to the east is they have armored buggies and armored tanks. So, really, our tanks are going into the east to deal with their tanks, which are going to be in equally bad terrain, so that should at least be a wash. We're mainly bringing the tanks along as armor penetration weapons. Because even the 60mm HE, while it favors blowing up soft targets, it has the armor penetration, so it's not going to take the penetration malices against the early game tanks. It doesn't have a good heart attack, but it's got good penetration. So all we got to do is basically push the slavers until they're back in the high mountains. Because once they're back in the high mountains, all they're going to have left is their foot infantry anyway. And at this point, once the tanks are designed, the next thing we're going to do is the next generation upgrade for the infantry. And the next generation infantry is going to be able to handle mono-a-mono minor infantry as well. So once we get rid of their motorized stuff, we can probably swap that to a loose picket as well, freeing up more troops to go more directions. I might not try to completely get rid of the slavers to the east. We might just push them back into the mountains and call that good enough. Well, into the high mountains. Call that good enough. So this is a high mountain in here. We got a little bit of low in here, which is where the armored vehicles are being the issue. Why did we suddenly know something about down there? Guessing we just got reconnaissance on that hex for some reason, and then we saw things moving through it. Yeah, most of the slaver equipment, presumably in this area that's giving us a problem, is on their western border, because it would also struggle in those high mountains. In fact, actually, I believe tracked and wheeled vehicles can't enter high mountains. So the vehicles we want our vehicles to deal with are not in those hexes, and can't retreat into those hexes either. So we can guarantee their destruction simply by pushing them back into the high mountains. And there may be high mountains down here. We can't spy on the robots. We know the robots come down this far, but where this ends robot-wise, I think this comes down. Comes down. I think the border ends like there. Okay, so we're seeing some movement with the slavers. Although, at this point, there's not really much more we can take advantage of without more troops. And I think we want to expand the protective bubble around the metal mine next, if we can. And we wait. Should be coming up on our turn pretty soon, I think. I think we've seen everything that we normally see near the end of the turn. There we go. Beginning round 61, we have 4 decisions awaiting us. We have discovered high-speed machine guns. And we got investor backing. That's good. Okay, so yes, that's fine. Staff Council. Yeah, probably Discovery Boobs is what we want that focused on. That's fine.
Yes, sir. Roger that, sir.
We'd want to do the merit one. I guess we're getting more unrest. Well, actually, we're getting more food because we're going to send it to the troops.
Copy that.
Yeah, we gain 20 more food. Not great. And we are going to favor them going towards commerce. Okay, so loyalty is rising, happiness is rising, although we're going to run into more bigger problems. Rest is going to go away, danger is going to go away. Well, the danger is stable at where it is, so we're going to try to move to solve that. Investor backing.
Copy that.
2,000 more credits. We've only got one commander, so I'm probably, unless that commander is unhappy, we're not going to do war games. Okay. Happiness is slowly rising. Before I run out of bullets, I should do some construction for bullets. About 530.
Wilco.
And I definitely need recruitment up. So let's zone orders. Let's upgrade max recruitment to 1,000. Don't think this is actually going to increase the recruitment rate.
Copy that.
I may be wrong. Because I think our recruitment rate's being penalized by the loyalty being low. But that should trend up as loyalty stays higher than, or as happiness stays higher than it. So. Okay. Prospecting wise, yeah, nothing else to discover yet. Oh, and we're not even in 9th anymore. We're up to 8th. Barely expanded at all, and we're already going up in the world. Yes. Oh, and then I'm remembering what I want to do. So I want to call up. Priorities back to a research priority.
Roger that.
And then I want to also change the research from gas power to high speed. Model 18. Oh, we're doing like 6 gen. I was doing better than that. Well, that's gonna take a while. And then volcanic energy is happening. We're doing like 3%. So once we get over 1,000 again, we're going to recruit another person. That will allow us to probably get another row of hexes off here. So we try to get the 3-round surround on there. Yep, let's go ahead and save cycle the turn. get it sort of centered over our area. It'll move the camera anyway if something's actually happening that theory we can see. I don't think there's much we're going to be able to see outside of this anyway. We might get a slight hint that maybe something's going on in the major we know about. That would be about it. Okay, here we are at the bottom of round 62. We got 4 decisions awaiting us. Gain corporatism, which will be helpful. That's profile effects, right? Yeah. Extra 80% private economy bonus. Okay. So in a way, that that metal mine may in fact be better owned by the private interest than owned by me. One of these is going to get buffed up on the following turn. Decisions. We've got the money, so I'll make it extra fancy. Confirm this. Yeah, focus still more on research. And mind.
Roger that.
Nice, easy decisions for the turn. Was that the fear we got hit with? Yeah, 16 points due to fear. Well, the unrest is gone for the moment. We've got danger. Well, it looks like the danger is downtrending. Yeah, the danger downtrended. So whatever was causing it before has wandered far enough away. And fear is high enough that it is actually decreasing very easily fast at the moment. Okay, that's our recruits. We did get 400 recruits this turn, so if that continues, we might be recruiting reasonably fast going forward. do I have as far as reserve? Personnel reserve. I cap 1 person. Okay. Let's grab a talent.
Sir, yes, sir.
See where that puts us. Okay, we're gonna cap 3. So let's actually try to get rid of the cap 1 person. So I'm gonna strat card you. Honestly, you don't deserve a bronze retirement, but you're getting a bronze retirement.
Sir, yes, sir.
Goodbye. And then we haven't grabbed any more hexes, so there's not going to be any prospecting, I assume. Yeah. The cycle will turn, and then we'll grab another rung of hexes here, probably. On the next. In fact, I could probably grab some of them this turn, so let's actually grab them this turn. This Twitch chat says, good move, he was terrible. Yeah, well, it would be even better if we had a no retirement card, but the worst we had that we could give him was a bronze, which is why he got bronze. Got paid to leave. So next turn we can move him down to that hex. That'll give us another couple. And I doubt any of those have. At least this has an update, so we don't know. Okay. And then tech-wise, working on volcanic energy tapping and high-speed machine guns. When high-speed machine gun is done, we'll be able to discover things in chemistry and engineering. And we'll probably push military back to discovery-focused, hoping to find RPGs, rocketry, combat armor. Yeah, I got small arms. Whole bunch of stuff to discover. Yeah, I don't think there's any cards worth playing. Although, 500 to the populace. We got a reasonable amount of money. Let's try to bribe the populace.
Sir, yes, sir.
We got a whole 1. Okay, that could have been worse. Could have been better. Not gonna do that again right now. To be fair, that was also a failure. So we got half effect. So instead of getting, I suppose we would have actually got 2, which isn't much better. Twitch chat has put in the comment of they are unimpressed by my leadership. Either that or unimpressed by 500 credits. One of the two. And to be fair, I think it's technically the governor making the roll, so they're unimpressed by the governor's leadership. I think we're most of the way through at this point. Okay, coming up on our turn. We suffered no losses nor made kills. We have 5 decisions on round 63. Private investment is good. And there's another auction going on. Want the bureaucratic points to go up. In how many rounds? 7. So to do that, although 34 points is not a lot, would require us to build another bureaucratic asset. That would cost us, that would require us to build another one. In particular, probably build up the high command to level 2. Although that doesn't look too bad. I think I've got the power. We'd be a bit short, but probably close enough I could run it. Okay, we'll accept this just because I want to piss the faction off. CEO has an emergency. We don't want the danger, so we're going to help the corporation. They want to buy IP. We'll sell them the IP. Gain just over 1,000 credits. Okay. We got a bid run here. I'm going to bid the 1,000. I'm basically going to bid what they just bought from us.
Order received.
That'll probably get us the win. And if it doesn't, then we know someone else bid a lot more than that. And I honestly probably don't think it was worth much more than that. Get 11 political power. Either way, we're getting enforcement. We don't really want enforcement here. And we're not going to tell them no. So we'll take the political power instead of the heart.
Yes, sir.
Did we get hit with the... Yeah, fear hit. That's why we're not below 50. Okay. We need danger and fear to come down. Danger is static, and fear is coming down, although at the speed it does. And we got 400 more recruits. So I could probably splurge next turn. It would be a partial deploy, but we can deploy a 900 next turn, probably. Play private investment on our main zone.
Order received.
Put some more credits in the deposit, the treasury for the zone. In theory, we're getting 25% of everything they buy as taxes. So if they buy buildings, we get paid. Okay. Like what we're going to do for the turn, and yeah, we will go ahead and try to get the bureaucratic points, which is going to be upgrading the high command. I think so he's happy enough we can swing high command 2 here with a little problem.
Copy that.
Cycling the turn once more. I suppose if we fail the bid, I'll probably spend that money trying to bribe the population into being less unhappy. Okay, looks like it's coming up on our turn. So this is state round 64. We have 5 decisions. We completed high-speed machine guns. I'm going to cabinet retreat. That's good. We won the bid, so we now got 3 of their shares. They want to change in propaganda. It's not up to you to order as our nerd service. We want mind, and we don't really want democracy.
Copy that.
We want merit. We want 17 assets. We'll accept. We don't really control this, but we'll
Understood.
accept. It's likely to happen. It's getting really cheap here. It's really tempting to take one right now, but we're still going to say
Yes,
no.
sir.
And yeah, take gas powered, although we're going to swap to discovery on that. And more
We'll
merit.
go.
And then org, military, call, parties,
Roger that.
discovery. I suppose we can actually look at that maritime trading house. We're in contact with these guys. We hold 3 of the 4 shares that are outstanding, with another 8. So the maritime trading house owns 75% of its own shares, which believe means that 75% of its dividends go to itself. That need to be shareholder in order to receive dividends. Note the dividend payments are strongly negatively related to the expansion score of the MTH. Okay. Piracy, slightly pro-piracy. We got good relations with them. See, they're pitting with all the other ones. Okay, so cheap tonnage, cheap due to the relationship, cheap due to everyone apparently being very illiquid. They are deep sea miners. Is able to extract metal and oil from the deep sea. This one in particular specializes in oil drilling. With an extra supply of mostly this item. There, we can trade with them. Oh no, this is the trade they're doing. Okay, so they're pumping out oil. And in theory, that's ending up in the market. And they've got decent treasury. And I think we're getting a quarter of this a turn, so we're actually getting paid by them. So that's good to remember. Yeah, we're getting 48 credits from there. Okay. More than I was expecting. And that actually meant we were revenue positive last turn. We got hit with the fear two turns in a row. We got hit with the fear 2 turns in a row. Yeah. Population happiness is low. Yeah, we'll go ahead and raise a partial. A little bit of risk poking out there. You can get out there as well. It's a little bit of risk that the AI will come running around the corner here. That's the only risk there. We're going to try to grab as much of this sort of isthmus area as possible. Do you want to run the road down there to get the supplies? Sure. That should help with getting supplies out to those units so we can push out and try to take some more of this isthmus. And then prospecting-wise, we don't think there's anything else in the territory we have. Although I think this is based off of what we had at the beginning of the turn. So probably nothing new in what we just took, but we don't know for sure. And I could sell metal off, but we'll hold on to it in case we want to spend it on tanks. Oh, in theory we're also doing construction, aren't we? Yeah, we're also doing construction. Should hold on to the metal till the construction's done in 3 turns. Twitch chat saying hopefully there's some oil out there, and preferably closer. Preferably we find oil closer. Although I'd be fine if we had no oil. Oil is something I don't necessarily mind making, because you've got access to biofuel at the beginning. In the tech tree, we also get methane synthesis over here, which makes methane or makes CO2. We have synthetic fuel that makes methane makes fuel, synthetic fuel makes fuel, and deep core mining makes fuel. So you've got options. You've got options with fuel. The one that I would really like that we're probably not going to find is a rare earth metal mine, because as it says in the name, rare earth is rare. Let's probably, I think we're at the point where we're going to cycle the turn. Oh, we'll do a cabinet retreat as well.
Sir, yes, sir.
Failure, so it's not as effective, but we got a bunch of political power in the map. So let's cycle the turn. And I think this will be the last end turn of this part. So if you're watching on YouTube, we'll have a part up tomorrow. We'll probably finish taking this island. Assuming there's no one on the island to stop us from taking the island, we'll probably take the island this stream. I say island. We'll take the Isthmus area this stream. But it will probably be in the next part. If you're watching on Twitch, this is just going to be basically a short stretch break between parts. And then we'll be right back to recording. And we do have the risk, again, as I brought up, we've got a slight hole in our defense line, so there is the potential the robots could make an appearance this turn, just decide to go all the way around. Be annoying. No interest in Industry 2. I'll be more interested in the industry building, the heavy industry, well, the medium infantry industry as well. The industry will be more interesting once we've got a reliable source of power, which we will as soon as we have volcanic energy. So that's probably what we're going to do after volcanic energy. That's less of a find and more of a I know I will build it as soon as we sort out a power source. But yeah, there's interest in finding in the wild rare earth metals is really the one I'm looking for. Because otherwise we're going to have to buy the rare earth metals to build machine parts and high-tech parts. And I'd rather have a mine. It doesn't need to be a big mine. It doesn't need to be a good mine, but I'd rather have a mine. Metal soil filtration tends to be a bit of a bottleneck if you're reliant on that for, well, especially for metal. It's a little bit less so for rare earth metals, but then the rare earth metals would become a problem late game if you're stuck on metal soil filtration. Because late game, you're going to want the rare earth metals for machine parts and high-tech parts. And when you're going to really want those, you're going to really want those. Battle dress can get pretty expensive because it's 1 machine part per normal, 2 machine part per heavy battle dress. Robot troops are 1 high-tech part per robot. So on and so forth. So when you start using those resources, you start using those resources. Anyway, right now we got the private sector providing us enough industry that industry-wise I'm far more interested in getting things I need to build the industry than really the industry itself. Not too worried about IP. I tend to find that you need industrial power for things, and you're like, oh, I need more industry power, I need more industry power. And all of a sudden you have enough, because you've invested enough, and suddenly you have more than you need. Because the main expense usually is road building with IP. And once you have enough industry, you just kind of go all the directions, and then you end up the bottleneck being the truck station or the rail station or whatever to get the IP to where you need it. And then you're sitting here twiddling your thumbs, waiting for the IP or waiting for the logistics points to be made, so that you can keep shipping stuff on the roads that you're not building because you don't need to build them right now. But yeah, government-owned industry will get built at some point. Just because the private sector is building industry, we're not rushing to public sector industry. Partially because it also drinks a lot of power, so we need a power plant. I'd rather spend the power on the bureaucracy to research than the industry to still sit around waiting for manpower. Okay, and here we are. You're watching on YouTube, we'll have a part up for you tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a short break to stretch the legs and sip a little bit of tea, and then we'll be right back to record the next part. or we'll be picking up with 2 decisions on round 65. So until the next part, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part, and bye for now.